With the recent shootings in Texas and Dayton, of course, you can feel like there is no place where you can go to just be safe. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can you stay protected if the unthinkable happens? Tim Dimoff is here with answers. Thank goodness. Tim is the president and CEO of SACS Consulting and Investigative Services. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously, this is a very timely topic, and you know, it's festival season. People want to go out to fairs, even just shopping, and a lot of us are worried for valid reasons. How worried should we be if something happens, and how likely is it to happen?
Yeah, it's still statistically very unlikely to happen, but compared to 10 years, it still has the potential to happen. And all we really need to do, the difference between now and before, is we need to educate ourselves on some things that we should be thinking about before we go to those events and once we get to those events, and continue to have fun and engagement with your family and friends.
And enjoy that time. So say we go to a mall or, like I said, a festival, a fair. What are things that we should really be aware of?
Well, what you have to do is you have to have a conversation with your family. We no longer just can go to places. We need to sit down and talk to our family members and say, you know what? We need to have a code word. And if I say this code word as a mom or dad, that means listen very carefully, right. And we need to be very careful because there's a security emergency, and don't ask a lot of questions, follow directions, and do our game plan.
And in terms of a game plan, let's get into it. What would you, I'm sure it's different in every situation, but say you are at a festival. Obviously, we know the recent shooting at the festival just happened. What kind of steps should we take, or maybe how should we mark out a game plan? Yeah,
first thing you want to do is whenever you go with your family or friends, you want to get there, and as soon as you're at that festivity or the building or anywhere, any building, any event you go to, always first realize and learn where multiple exits are. You've got to know ahead of time. Under stress, if you already know where they are, you'll get to them. Right. Under stress, if you don't know where they are, you're going to be running in circles. So crucial to know where all the exits are, and not just one, multiple exits, and you and whoever you're with, make sure everybody knows where they are. That means taking a couple minutes, 5 minutes to walking around a lobby or an outdoor festivity and learn how you get out of that location.
That's really, really good tip. You know, we've been hearing a lot about how we need to be the eyes, the police force. They can't do this on their own. So if we see something, we should say something, and all of that. How can we be such a helpful force in this, in recognizing when maybe something's wrong with a person, you know, that we're close with, and we're seeing some warning signs here?
Yeah. Well, you know, you go back to the Republican National Convention, our company came in and we trained almost all the common workers that were working in the security zones and out to understand red flags of behavior. And when you ask, what can we do? See something, hear something, say something. Right. So let's keep our eyes and ears open for unusual behavior. Let's report that to the police while it's still in its infant stages.
Right. And with everything the past week, obviously all of this is very fresh on our mind, but it's something to consider even, you know, a couple weeks from now, to think about these, you know, drills and these plans, like you said, the strategies. How often do you think that we should kind of practice these and talk about it with our family members and our coworkers?
Well, I think, you know, I think you have that discussion before you go to any major event that you're going to go to, whether it's a vacation event or recreation or whatever. I think you just make sure you remind each other, hey, let's remember what that code is. Hey, when we get there, let's check out where the exits are. Kind of turn it into a mini habit. Don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but under stress, knowledge is king. Knowledge ahead of time of how you can survive, how you can escape. Good example is you go to a restaurant, everybody knows where the front door is. How many know where the back exits are? I go to a restaurant, I know where the back exits are. I know where the kitchen is. You know why I know where the kitchen is? Because that's where the deliveries come, and there's exits and docks. You can get through a kitchen and you can get to safety. It's that kind of thinking.
Well, Tim, we really appreciate you sitting down with us, and we have to talk really quick before we go about your campaign, Stop It at the Door.
Yeah.
What is that?
SACS Consulting, my company, it's a national company based out of Akron. We're pushing out hashtag Stop It at the Door, and we want people to contribute ideas and security and things for family and friends and everybody to do, because we have the ability in this country to stop it at the door and prevent it and not let it get to the next escalation of the attack. We can stop it at the door.
Oh, thank you so much for sitting down with us. And again, that is hashtag Stop It at the Door. You can get involved and we can do this together. So sacsconsulting.com. You can reach out to Tim Dimoff there and check out all of his services, because you are great and your training helps. It saves lives. So thank you again so much for your time.
Thank you for helping me make a difference, and I know this will save lives and help protect people, and I appreciate it.
It absolutely will.